Now we are preparing for our Q&A session, which is next up. So what will happen now is that all your questions that has been written in Slido will be shared on the screen, and me as a moderator will read them aloud. And then with the help of my colleagues here and different speakers, I will address each question. Now, so if you just register through the link here, through the code you see, we can begin the Q&A. All right, so if Alfin just highlights the top one in green maybe when we go through them so we all can see which one we're at. So is this the top? Let's see.
Yes, yeah, up top is the most popular one.
Okay, so that's how it's ranked. That's incredible. Okay, so what is the percent success of applications? Now, maybe I will ask my colleague Maria to maybe fill in on here because I don't have a particular number in my mind. Maria, do you have a response to the success rate here?
Not really, as it has differed between the years. But I would say it's generally a bit above the Horizon Europe success rates. And it differs also depending on the amount of funding from year to year. So, and it differs between core modules and so on. So it's we cannot say a specific percentage.
Thank you, Maria. And just also, we will, after the Q&A, all these questions will also be published with answers on our website, so we can go back to them as well. All right, next one. Can we apply with multiple consortia and different projects? Now, Maria, would you also mind elaborating on?
No problem. Well, yes, you can. However, remember that the funding organizations may not be interested in only funding the same partners in several. So it may be a lower chance to get selected if there are several with the same scores and so on. So please contact your funding organization to see what they have. There may be rules that this is not possible also. So there is no stop for this in the system, but please be aware that it may not be the best, because it can also be an implementation issue, that do you really have the work capacity to do the implementation of several projects at the same time and so on.
Thank you, Maria. So now we have a question regarding our collaborative partners at the EEN. So this is not required at all. It's just a support we offer, which you can use to find partners. So it's not required to go through the EEN. So that is just an offer from our side. And now next question, will there be matchmaking events if we cannot find enough partners in the same area? So regarding the matchmaking events, we don't have one live right now, but we have events lined up at our event and matchmaking platform, which offer matchmaking sessions. So I think I shared a link for that page in the chat a bit above, so I can always copy paste it here as well. So please stay tuned here and also register at the matchmaking event, because then you can contact all participants in that platform as well. All right. I am in carbon capture and utilization, ethanol, TA, LSA, email me. Okay. That's the shout out, I guess. Can a company apply 2 modules? So I believe that is, can a company apply to 2 core modules? Now, again, Maria, I don't think we have any requirements against it, but as she mentioned, please pay attention to the funding requirements for national and regional funding organizations. Is there a minimum number of consortia members? So that, Marie, you might support me here as well, but it's the transnational requirements that we have regarding 3 partners. So it must consist of minimum of 3 beneficiary partners, and they have to come from 3 different countries, and 2 at least must come from EU member states or associated countries. So that's that. Now the next one, let's see. My research area is monitoring. Okay, I think this is another shout out, it seems.
Sorry, I was muted. I just wanted to add to the consortium setup that we recommend highly to have more than 3 partners in a consortium, because we see that if one partner is ineligible, you may go to the next step and you can include another one, but maybe that is not eligible in the next step. So we strongly advise to have more than 3 partners in the project.
Yeah, thank you, Maria, and a very good point indeed. Now we have the next question. What is the minimum maximum duration of projects? So we have 36 months from project start to project end. Yeah.
There may be differences between the core modules, so have a look there, but the main is never longer than 36 months.
Yeah. What is the % of expenses funded by the program?
That differs from funding organization to funding organization, and all funding is done directly between the funding organizations and their beneficiary partners. So you will have to look at your funding organization and what the rules are there. There is no collective funding from the CETPartnership. Everything is done between the funding organization and the beneficiary partner.
Thank you, Maria. And here we have a core module related question to core module 5. And if Isabelle is with us right now, maybe she can elaborate a bit. So participants ask, I think it disappeared.
It just moved to second place, but it's still there. Oh no. Oh yeah,
there it is. Yes.
Yeah, it's there. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Alvin.
Yes,
So in
something
core
moved up.
module, all good. So in core module 5, hydrogen renewable fuels, it is stated that hydrogen storage using solid and liquid carriers is funded. Does this include hydrogen storage in the subsurface, e.g. saline aquifers? Now maybe, Isabelle, are you here?
Yes, yes. Yes, it includes, I mean, it's all forms of hydrogen storage are included. Actually, it was added, solid and liquid carriers, because was not included in previous, at the beginning, let's put this way, in previous call. So yes, the solution has to be innovative, of course. So it has to have some added value to the already existing results of projects and solutions that are there in place.
Thank you so much, Isabelle. All right. Could you please remind us how CETPartnership Joint Call 2025 is integrated within the Horizon program? What's the difference with the EIC program? So we are a partnership that's co-funded by the European Commission through the Horizon Europe program, which means that we have a total budget which gets a percentage kind of boosted. So we get to fund more projects within it. So that is kind of how we differentiate also, that we have direct payment to the projects from the funding organization participating in the call, but we have a boost of the overall budget. Maria, do you want to add on to that as well?
We have our own rules, so to say, so you have to check our call text. It's not the same. It's another platform, not exactly the same evaluation criteria, although it's the same excellence, impact, and quality of implementation, but there may be minor changes of subsections. So please have a thorough look at the call text.
Thank you. Yes, Maria has a great experience with with many different funding programs. All right, so with a stated range of 2022 to 2027 and a project start late 2026 and a maximum 36 months for projects, the project may run into 2029. What are the constraints? 2027 or 36 months. So the 2022 to 2027 is our program period, which is when we have annual calls. So that means that we had an annual call in 2022, we have one in 2023, we had one in 2023, and so forth. So it doesn't correlate to the project period in that sense. Yeah. Okay. Project partners of the consortium should be mixed of industries and universities, ? Is there any specific role for this? So this depends a bit on the core module in which you're applying under and the requirements that you might meet there, as well as the funding organization's requirements, as some prefer a specific type of partner, depending on your proposal. So we advise you to contact either the TRIs that's been presenting here today or the funding organizations in which you plan to apply under. All right. Is the structural performance management and digital twin of subsea cables is in the scope of the core module 2? So I think this might be a question for Francesco or Giuseppe if they're online regarding the core module 2.
Yes, I'm online. I'm here.
Oh, I think he disappeared, but there we go.
Hello, can you hear me?
We hear you. Sorry, Francesco.
Structural performance management and digital twin. Okay, I see it more in the module 3, if in terms of activity, even if because it's more a technological solution and does not really probably impact with the flexibility of the system. So I don't see it quite fitting in the module 2 actually.
Okay, thank you so much, Francesco.
You're welcome.
That's enlightening. So now we have, is there a digital platform we can see areas of interest from potential partners? And yes, indeed it is. So a bit above here in the chat, let me see if I can find it. I shared the link to our event and matchmaking platform. Now, if you register here, you can do matchmaking, which means you can invite sessions and also see more information about the participants' project, their interest, their field of expertise, and then in that way you can connect directly. We really advise everyone to register through that platform because it allows for more direct contact and planning of potential project consortia development. So I think I will try to reshare these links. If you give me 2 seconds here, and hopefully, okay, so now I lost the hyperlinks, but maybe one of the support team can assist me in resharing. Reshare here. All right, I will add them in the chat after the Q&A, I think, because the hyperlinks disappear. Anyway, is it an advantage to make the consortium as international as possible? It goes a bit back to what Maria says regarding the potential ineligibility of a partner. So in that sense, it's nice to have many partners. When it comes to the scope of internationality, we of course want people to connect transnationally, because the point is to kind of share ideas and on common challenges. But that's not necessarily something we look on beyond our requirements, which are already stated in the call text. Hope that was a clear answer. Maria, you can always just jump in if you want to anytime. Okay. In the documentation about funding agencies, it's not mentioned which core module will be funded by the Scottish funding organisation. Does that mean that all modules are fundable because there is a budget specified anyway? So regarding different funding organisations, I also on a side note saw in the chat that Richard was online and has a Scottish event, so he'll probably be able to tell you more about it. But yeah.
We are about to updating the document, so it will be included.
Yeah, so stay tuned for any national events on our website, and also contact the funding agency or organization directly and check out annexes in the call text, and you will find your answer there. All right.
You can also have a look at the web page, because there it was included actually. So it was a mistake that we have been getting the funding commitments one after one, and we have been including it. So that's it. And there may be changes after this today. So please have a look all the way until the opening, and maybe also a bit after that to have the latest
Yeah. Thank you. And I'm also sharing the link in the chat now where you can kind of see which side you need to go to see the overview of funding organizations participating in different core modules, as well as their annexes, which will, as Maria mentioned, be continuously updated. So don't take it for good fish, as we say in Norway. All right, now next question. I'm looking for partnerships in core module 3 with focus on OK. It's another shout out. So we go to the next one. Must we have equity funding equal to or greater than the budget we apply for? Now, Maria, you might be more of a budget expert for this. I think, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, good.
Equity funding equal to or greater than the budget you apply for. I'm not really sure I'm following what the meaning is, but maybe it is. It depends on the different funding organizations. Some organizations require that you only apply for 80%, for example, or 25%, or whatever. So you have to look at your funding organization requirements. If I understood the question right.
I also struggled a bit with that one, but or come back to us by email if you want to elaborate at any point as well. Okay, can a more flexible approach be adopted between pre and full application stages to allow adjustment to the consortium budgets to overcome the shortcomings in the set partnership process where a budget limit is only one region country kills whole proposal? This risk discourages collaboration. We do see your point, and this risk is something we are well aware of. But as per standard, we have the in-between stage phase written down on, I think, what did you, 5.2.1 in the call text? Yeah.
So it's that you can move from stage 1 to stage 2 with only 2 eligible partners, and then you can add another one. But you must have a funding organizations confirmed and everything. So you have to follow those rules. Of course, the budget will always be limiting, but not regarding eligibility. Budget limitation is about being selected or not. So having low scores may lead to not being selected because there is no funding available. In the best of worlds, we would of course like to fund all above threshold, but as we have a lot of applications and not enough funding, there will be some with low scores that will not be funded, no matter what happens.
Thank you, Maria. All right, to the next one. Suppose the business forms a consortium with 2 other organizations to develop a new energy production technology. According to CETPartnership funding rules, who owns the intellectual property rights to the new technology? I think this is an excellent question, which I unfortunately haven't thought of before, which is always fun with the Q&As.
I think I can answer. There will be a request of having a consortium agreement within the consortium, and then it will be stated in your consortium agreement. So it's up to the involved organizations to decide upon this or write the rules for this. So we as a partnership, we don't have any claims on the IPR or so. So that is within the consortium of the project.
Thank you, Maria. All right, and now about the contact point. I think the Swiss contact point, Thomas Beal shared it in the chat at 12:05. So if you scroll a bit upwards, you will be able to find it.
Already answered.
Yeah, thank you, Thomas. All right, and we move on. So, okay, so it's the top one here, Alfin, is that correct? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's say I have 5 partners. One of our partner has 4 workers. One of our country's partner has 10 workers. Another partner has 6 workers. Another country's partner has 5 partners. In order to balance them to reach 25% workload, can we merge one country under another country's team?
This was a complicated
Yeah,
question.
it's a math
So
question almost.
we don't speak about workers, we speak about person month. So it could be as many workers as you like in any of those, but the total person month that is put into the project is what is deciding. And it is regarding this, it's the funding organization. An ineligible funding organization cannot have, if that has more than, no, not funding organization, sorry. An ineligible beneficiary partners from one or several funding organizations, if they together get more than 25% of the workload, the project will be ineligible. So then you cannot do any back and forth. But if it's less than 25%, then you could in the full stage maybe change between the involved countries or involved partners, depending on the funding organizations. You have to confirm this with the funding organizations because it affects the budget. And as we have a selection due to budget, we may have countries that are oversubscribed, making it complicated. So you must contact your funding organizations if reorganizing after the full proposal is the case. I hope we understood this question right.
I think it helped with yeah, person months.
And regarding if it's 60% from one country and 70% from one, maybe or the other way around, then the platform will stop you if you have too many person months from one partner or from one country. So you will see before submission that this is not the right setup.
Yeah.
So please do that well in time, long before submission. Just go to the platform and have a look because you get clear notifications if something is lacking or wrong.
All right, and now I think we should do the final two questions as I see the clock is running a bit away from us. So we have, I think the last after this is more a statement. 512 eligible Czech proposals, the fund will, I don't think that's a question.
This was a bit to the other part.
Yeah.
So if there are ineligible partners that have more than 25% of the total budget, the project will be ineligible. In short.
And then again, it's, I think we commented on the Swiss contact point. A TRI is the expert groups that presented today, and they're the ones who draft the topics which you apply on they're an essential part of driving our partnership forward, and are experts from all across Europe. All right.
Please see our webpage. There are descriptions.
And I think now latest question is probably not the last question, but I think we might have to sum up soon. But fear not, we will write answers to all these questions and publish them on our website after this event. So if you don't get an answer here today, rest assured we will answer you shortly. But maybe Alfin, you can take the top question then we take one last top question. Oh, and that was the Swiss contact point. And okay, most popular ones I think is already answered.
Yeah, I think we have only these questions left now. If you
find all the information in the call text, but deadline is 9th of October.
Yeah. Okay, maybe then we take the last one from Philippos under here, and then we'll call it for the Q&A. Reading the whole call for CETPartnership Joint Call 2025 National Regional Information Netherlands as joint call invites to check national special criteria for the call. And although in the general call NGOs, non-profits are eligible, it seems as if NGOs are not eligible for HEP. How can we clarify?
This is a local question. You have to go to your funding organization and ask this question. This is nothing we can answer here.
Yeah. All right. And I think we will conclude this Q&A, but we will also have another Q&A in September. So feel free to come back then. And then that session will deliberately be held for more Q&As than just 20 minutes. So I think we can jump back to the slides now, Alfin, if that's okay. So just sent some links in the chat here, but here you have an overview of contact points for questions. Call management, that's me, Maria, and Aiko. We have the call procedure questions, anything you want to know about application process, eligibility criteria, reach out. And then you have the TRI offices, as I mentioned. If you have thematic questions, reach out to them. They will be assisting you on that. And then you have national funding organizations. And as we showed, you can find it on our website and in the annexes and the different contact points. Finding project partners, please check out our matchmaking tool, which is the event and matchmaking platform. And you can also email the communication office of, regarding questions on events and so forth, and press and media. All right, and I think the next slide. Yeah, it was just a shout out to join our platform. I see many in the chat has asked about partners and giving shout outs about what they do, which is great. We really want to be a platform where people can connect. So register here and check out more from the CETPartnership there. Next slide. Also, our communication team has updated many cool events that are coming up on different themes and sectors. Also, with some have matchmaking sessions, so check them out as well and register through the platform. Okay. Next slide, please. And yeah, again, a bit about our social medias. These links has also been shared throughout the chat. We will always share this presentation and also the recording on YouTube. So you can always come back to this information. We know it's a lot to take in, and so they will be published at a later stage. And then I think that's one more slide, I think, or two. Yeah, and then it's just our events project matchmaking newsletter, which you can register here. And then the next slide. This is some of the faces here. We're not just virtual organizations. We do meet once here. And with that, I would like to say thank you so much for joining us today and listening in. If you have any questions, continue to ask them. We look forward to the opening of the submission on the 11th of June. And thank you so much for attending today's session. All right, goodbye, everyone.